This is so cool, Casey. I'm here with Brian Nelson Ford, author of The 8 Pillars of Financial Greatness.
Brian Nelson Ford.
Brian Ford.
Brian Nelson Ford.
Financial expert.
Author, speaker, and financial expert.
Brian Nelson Ford.
The author of the book, The 8 Pillars of Financial Greatness.
Brian is a great motivational speaker. When he left, I had people that were so motivated to change their behavior. He did a great job showing us that we live in a society where we want to keep up with the Joneses, and he painted a pretty good picture of the fact that the Jones family is probably in debt up to their neck. Maybe you don't want to be like them. And I had so many employees coming up to me after just raving about what an awesome thing this was that we were bringing to the company.
I'm very passionate about the subject of personal finance. I was kind of one of those nerdy kids in high school that could pick up a book about finance, I mean like a textbook, and totally devour it. But I know not everyone gets as excited about this subject as I do. In fact, I'm married to one of those individuals. And every once in a while I'll be laying in bed and she'll have trouble sleeping at night. And I'll just start talking about the performance of our Roth IRAs and the trajectory of our net worth and what our 529 plans are doing. And about 5 minutes into that very exciting subject, that conversation, she's asleep. She's out. And I'm like, wait a second here. Is she just faking it to avoid a conversation about money? I know she's not faking it because she's got this cute little snore. It's like impossible to fake. And then 5 minutes later, she starts twitching a little bit, and I'm pretty sure that's legit. So I totally get that not everyone finds the subject of personal finance super exciting. But I want you to know at 8 Pillars, we've worked very hard to make the subject of personal finance just a little bit more interesting than maybe your average, boring 401k seminar.
I'd say the 3 most important things that children need to learn when it comes to money. Number 1 is work. We need to get children associating money with work and the idea that if they want money, they need to work for it.
But I'm here to share with you that true financial greatness is more than just outward prosperity. And it has less to do with dollar signs than it does with how money affects your life and your relationships. Well, why in the world are we starting out a conversation about money talking about values? I mean, what's the connection? Because I'll tell you what, we could be talking about something like wildly exciting, like budgeting. That's not one of my jokes. I really like budgeting. What is the connection? There's 2 main reasons why we want to talk about values and why your values are the foundation for the entire program. It's pretty clear. If you understand a few of the things that we're going to talk about tonight, more importantly, if you apply some of these things, everything else that you care about in life will be made better. But sadly, there's kind of a flip side, kind of a dark side to that says, if you just don't get some of this stuff or choose not to apply it, get ready for a really tough life. Seriously. That's not me saying it, that's the research.
Yeah, interestingly enough, about 75% of us got a refund last year, and the average amount was $2,800, which is pretty significant.
Yeah.
So instead of maybe just like splurging on those must-have shoes or maybe that big flat-screen TV, I suggest putting that money to improve your financial situation.
I was at another company a couple months ago. A little bit bigger crowd than this. There was about 300 people in an auditorium. And I was like, come on, guys, why do I love the net worth calculation so much? Weren't quite getting it. And then all of a sudden, one guy on the back row, I've never had this happen before or since, he stood up on the back row and he said, because it tells you the truth. I mean, he like yelled it. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly right. And I don't know where this came from, but like I pointed back to the crowd and I was like, and the truth will? And all 300 people were like, set you free. And I was like, this is awesome. I mean, this was like a good old-fashioned Southern Baptist Bible revivalry. They were excited, I was pumped, and we were just talking about net worth. But I told you, I'm kind of nerdy and I get excited about this stuff.
We had Brian Ford come and speak at one of our management summits, and the results we got in the surveys on Brian's presentation were stellar. And every manager said, we want to hear more. That never happens where all the managers agree, right?
You are giving us research and proven tips that help people manage their finances. This is a huge deal. So, all right, so let's say that I want to take control of my money. Where do I start?
Yeah, interestingly enough, our program's a little different.
I think as a country, we are going in the wrong direction when it comes to managing money. And when I say our country, I'm not talking about Washington. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about me. And if you agree with me, and if you'd like the world to change in some way, you must first expect that change from yourself. That's the way that it works.